Hey, what's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I am bringing back Branded. I want to do an updated deck profile, post, I don't know, everything. I haven't done one before Quem came out, which is what, Cyberstorm Access. So, yeah, for the current format, this is what I would play for Branded Despia. This is not with the Chimera stuff. This is pure Branded, and I just want to talk through my deck list and show you guys what I would play, keep you updated on my thoughts on the deck and the approach that I would take, going forward with this deck. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump on in. This deck list is probably pretty similar to how it's been for the last few months, but I just haven't put one out on my channel yet, and I haven't shared my thoughts on it. So, you know, for those of you who joined the channel because of the original Branded content, which was a lot of you, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I want to give you guys my update. All right, so let's go ahead and jump through the main and extra. So in the main deck today, I'm playing 45 cards, and that's kind of a shift from the previous times that I've had, Branded on the channel. I've always tried to stick to 40 as close as possible, but I'm willing to expand a little bit. I'm willing to go to 45 with the new consistency that Quem brings. Yeah, and I also, all right, let me also address this really quick. When I put out a video about the Cyberstorm Access cards and Quem specifically, and I said Quem is not that great, I would like to take that back, admit I was wrong, that Quem brings a lot to this deck, and yeah, I think that yeah, Quem is definitely something that should be played going forward. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on through the main deck here, starting with the Despia stuff. Still on 3 Aliber in this particular list, and then 1 Tragedy and 1 Adlib. I think these cards are pretty standard at this point. And then we're still on 3 Fallen of Albaz. This one I've thought about cutting back to 2. Like, the reason we originally played 3 was because of Kashtira, blind banishing stuff off the top of your deck. You don't want to lose your Albazes, and now that that's gone, hey, do we need to still play 3? I think yes. I think we still need to play 3. We still want to see Albaz in our hand, fuse away with Cartesia, and dump it with other stuff. We want to have 1 in the grave, 1 in the hand, 1 in the deck, at all times. So I think having 3, to best approach that is optimal. All right, so now we're on to the Cartesias. We have 2 Cartesia in this build. I think Cartesia is fine, good at 2. Before I was only playing 1. But I think 2 is definitely the way to go now that we have a lot of synergy with Quem and that kind of thing. And speak of the devil, there is the 1 Quem that I am playing. I don't think you need more than 1 in a pure list like this. If you're playing the Branded Synchro variant, yes, 3 is good. You want the tuners, you want the dumps to synergize with the Bestial stuff, but just for the pure list, we're going to go ahead and play just 1 Quem. And now for the one-of monsters, we have 1 Bestial Lubellion, 1 Bestial Saronir. This is still standard. You can play the 1 Magnamut or Druid Swarms if you want, but that's just getting kind of more into the Branded Bestial deck, and I'm trying to play more of the Branded Despia deck, and that's more fusion-based, less around the Bestials and that kind of thing. And then the 1 Shrouded and 1 Mercurier as kind of the engine requirements. Still great cards, and still definitely want to be playing those. On to the spells. We have 3 Branded Fusion, for sure. 3 Branded Opening to search the Aliber, to search the Branded Fusion. And then we have the Branded in Red and Branded Lost. Right now I'm not playing Branded in White. I don't know if that's the right choice or not, but I'm also not playing Kit. And I think with the extra access to Cartesia and then Quem, we don't need all of those extra fusion spells that are kind of bricks in our hand in the first place. They're better for follow-up, and I would rather just play just the most important stuff. And then I'll just do the Branded Trap right now, which is Branded Retribution. It's the only Branded Trap I'm playing. Okay, on to the other engine stuff. 3 fusion deployment still on this. It's still the kind of best honorary Branded card. To crank out that Blazing Cartesia really facilitates your plays. And then for the consistency stuff, 1 Foolish and 1 Gold Sark. Just more copies of Branded Fusion or whatever you need to be seeing. Foolish and Gold Sark definitely are valuable. And then the rest is all non-engine, okay? And there's probably 15 non-engine here. But still some of it is somewhat engine, and what I'm talking about is the 3 copies of Crossout I'm playing. I'm playing Cross Out because I don't have Thrust. If I had Thrust, I would probably play Thrust and the Fusion Duplication, the trap card, but I don't have Thrust, so I'm just going to rely on the Cross Outs and one called by to hope that Ash is stopped and we can resolve our branded Fusion. I think if you're not playing Thrust, if you're like a little bit more on the budget side, I think Cross Out is definitely the way to go, along with the Called by the Grave here. And then for the like hand traps / actual non-engine like interruptions, if you're a fan of my channel, you know that every deck I play plays 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir, and that includes branded. Like, Fenrir is just so good. And I've talked about this on the channel before, but if you're kind of new to my branded content, Fenrir is excellent in branded because, one, it's a body that puts up an interruption if your branded fusion gets stopped. Number 2, it's a body that searches another Fenrir that you can use as discard fodder for the Lubellion, the Searing Dragon, okay? Sometimes you go into Lubellion, you don't really want to discard anything in your hand is good. Just having that extra blank card is great. Fenrir searching the extra body is great for Guardian Chimera as well. You can have extra material in your hand to fuse away for that Guardian Chimera. So I think just all around Fenrir is fantastic. And then for the hand traps lineup, okay, so we have, 9 hand traps here, 3 copies of Ash, of course, need Ash, it's a fantastic card in general, but also for the cross-out target. 3 Imperm, it's the next best hand trap in my opinion. And then we have 3 individual one-of hand traps for cross-out. We have 1 Nib, 1 Droll, and 1 Veiler. I would say these are the next three most popular hand traps in the format, besides maybe Shifter, but, this deck doesn't care about Shifter that much where I want to play one for cross-out. So I'm fine with just playing these 9 hand traps plus 3 Fenrir. If you're not a fan of the 3 Fenrir, that's totally fine. I get it. I would play 2 more Nib and a Veiler probably, or 2 more Veiler and 1 more Nib, and whatever you want to do there. But still, I think 45 is good. 45 is nice for sideboard because you don't ever want to really side out your engine. You want to side out your non-engine to replace it for more applicable non-engine. So I think this is the way to go. Not a fan of Super Poly. You know me. I don't really like Super Poly this format, to be honest. And I don't think it's worth playing, and it's not worth the extra deck slots. And I think this is how I would play my main deck. So let me scoop this up, and then we'll go on into the extra and talk about that a little bit. In general, right now, I think branded is kind of slept on, but I feel like that's always the consensus. Like, oh, nobody's playing branded. Branded's going to be great in this format, and then it's just never provides results. So, all right. So onto the extra deck for the Albaz Fusions. We have 2 copies of Mirror Jade. Definitely 2. Like, it's the main boss of the deck. You got to play it. 1 Rinbrum, still good. Even just as a Mirror Jade dump, and just have Rinbrum, Albaz, and Graveyard in circulation. 2 copies of Albion, still good. Just the 1 Lubellion. You can play 2 if you want, but I'm just going to play 1. 1 copy of Sanctifier for just combos. I think it's still good. Even without Puppet, I think I would actually play Puppet in my side deck for when I know I'm going first. Just because why not? It's an auto win if you resolve it. So I still want to play Sanctifier in the extra deck, and Sanctifier is still good even without Puppet. 1 copy of Titanic Clad as well. This is mostly a dump off of like Grand Guignol or something to summon out the Quem in the end phase. But you can also make it with Nib and swing over Noir as well, because Noir can't spin this back on the turn it's summoned. So still a nice tech option to have in your extra. Okay, and then the rest is for the non-Albaz Fusions. We have 2 copies of Grand Guignol. I think is worth playing in the extra deck these days, just because we are playing 2 Cartesia and we can resolve that multiple times. So I think 2 Grand is good, and then the 1 Quertus for just in case you want to summon that with the Grand Guignol. I think Quertus is a little bit better than Lulu Lilith, and it's cheaper for the budget conscious players. And then the 3 kind of like more generic fusions, we have 1 Guardian Chimera for the branded in red play. We have 1 Dragos Stepelia, also for branded in red, or whatever else. Just Cartesia can go into Dragos Stepelia sometimes. And then 1 Masquerade just for fancy burn damage. And then for the 15th card, I didn't really know what else to put in terms of fusion, so I'm going to put in 1 SP Little Knight for follow-up plays. Of course, you can't resolve SP if you activate Branded Opening, Branded Fusion, whatever. But for follow-up on turn 3, if you have kind of like a burned Mirror Jade or like a couple monsters on board that you don't really need anymore, we can go right on into SP, banish some stuff, and set up some additional interruptions. And I think that's going to be totally fine. If you're a budget player, not owning SP, totally fine. Replace it with pretty much whatever you want. I think my top options would be Alba Lenatus or Brigand, the Glory Dragon, to be totally honest. You can also play a Dragoon package if you want and just replace that. But the reason I'm not on Dragoon anymore is because of Typhon. Like, Typhon just outs Dragoon easy, but if you want to play it, it's still a quality card, I would say. So you can go ahead and opt into the Dragoon stuff. But for now, I'm on SP. I don't think anything else is really worth playing. You can play like a Garura to dump off Granguignol if you want for a draw 1. That's a viable option. You can play the second Lubellion if you want. You can play a Sprint to out stuff. I don't know what, but so you can play Sprint if you want. Yeah, but right now this is going to be my 15 card extra for Branded in this particular format. We'll see how anything changes if we get any kind of support or anything like that. All right, so yeah, that'll wrap it up for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think of this list in the comments section below. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.